Ben's Tale, An Adventure of Truth and Myth. Book 1, Seeds of Destiny. Chapter 1, The Rise and Fall. Unit 5. Ben's mom slowly arose from the place where she had slid down the wall. She staggered forward and put an arm out to steady herself. Her mind felt like it was swimming in pea soup. She grabbed hold of the dresser beside her with both hands, drew in a big breath of air, and pulled herself erect. The sharp pain at her back almost caused her to pass out again. She couldn't allow that. She had things to do. She had to rescue her boy. Still dazed, she forced herself to stay up. The agony in her back buckled her knees and nearly forced her to revisit the floor. She grabbed the wall and regained her bearings. She breathed out the pain and tried to clear her head. If she took things slowly and carefully, she could handle it. Unfortunately, going slowly and carefully was a luxury she could not afford. She took another large lungful of air. She swayed to the side a time or two and dragged herself shuffle step by shuffle step to the bathroom near the corner of the bedroom. She turned on the cold tap and inspected her face. There was a little red that had trickled from her nose. Considering she had not actually been hit in the face, she didn't think that was very good news. She had blue impressions on her neck from where the creatures had grabbed her. They would be full purple bruises by nightfall. Though it hurt her throat some to breathe, she didn't think any permanent damage was done. Other than those few signs, there really was nothing visible that showed she had been attacked. The back of her head sure ached, though. Before too long, there would be a couple of eggs growing back there. Her poor noggin could use some ice. But for right then, she settled for cold water splashed on her face. It didn't do much to heal anything, but it woke her up a bit. With a sharp intake of air, she straightened herself up and stood tall. She winced and pressed both hands to the small of her back. The pain was excruciating. Some muscles were strained, pulled, or torn back there. Both of her shoulders had taken some damage too. There was no time to take care of those things. She had to find out what happened to her son, her little sweet pea. She gave her back a small rub, stretched it out as far as she could, and turned back to the bedroom. She surveyed the room as she leaned on the bathroom doorway. With all the pain she felt, she thought the room would be more of a mess. As she looked around, she saw not one piece of furniture out of place. If it wasn't for the cracked panes of glass at the windows and the destroyed window frame next to her, it would be hard to believe anything had happened. The hurt in her muscles and her spirit told her otherwise. What exactly had gone on? She looked at the clock. Half an hour had passed since she came up the stairs, and she was unconscious for most of that time. Her encounter with that creature could not have lasted more than a minute or two. That beastly thing had a good head start on her, and she had no idea where it was going. She knew how it had left the room, though. It must have flown out the window that once was at her side. It overlooked the back lawn. That would account for the smashed hole where the frame had been. Ben's mother gingerly walked barefoot to the large opening. She paid close attention to the pieces of glass scattered near the vacant expanse where the window had been. She pushed against the shreds of wall to make sure they would support her, and then she leaned out the gap. She looked down, but she didn't see too many clues. She spied mostly broken glass and window casing bent all askew before her. A small line of rubble led from the window to the edge of the forest behind the house. She could tell the creature had flown in a straight line from where it had left the window to where the trail ended. She would have to go outside to see if there were any other evidence she could find. She pulled herself back in through the hole and headed out of the room and hobbled quickly and gingerly downstairs. As she got to the bottom step and turned around the corner, she gasped at the sight before her. The huge window at the front of the living room was gone. It was blown out into the lawn with its shell and frame. There were some small shards of glass and a few wooden splinters left inside. Enormous knives of window and wood littered the front yard. What could have done this? Then it dawned on her. That horrid laugh. Someone else must have been in the house along with the bird woman. What was it? What did it want? She looked around the living room again. Everything seemed normal except for the open hole where the window had been. Then she noticed a clump of hair at the bottom of the front door. Where could it have come from? Oh no, she thought. Where's David? She was so worried about Ben that she had forgotten about his father. Now they both were gone, and she had no idea who or what had taken away her husband, Dave. What was she to do? She dialed her parents on her cell phone. While it was ringing, she opened the freezer and took out an ice pack. She placed it on the slowly rising bumps on the back of her head just as the line picked up. Hello? Hi, Mom. I need your help. What's wrong, honey? Benny, David, they're both gone. Kidnapped. I need help. Please, please help me. Of course we will. Now you said David kidnapped Benny? No, Ben and David have both been kidnapped. I don't know why. There's no ransom note. They were both just taken away. We tried to fight them, but they were too strong. David got hurt, I got hurt, and now they both are gone. Please, hurry. We'll leave in just 1 minute. If the lights go our way, we should be there in a half hour. Why don't you drink some juice or water while you wait for us? Maybe it'll calm your nerves. We'll be there soon. Thanks, Mom. We'll hurry. As soon as she clicked off the phone, she dialed her brother. Her hand holding the ice pack was starting to feel numb. She switched hands and picked the phone back up. As it rang, she wrapped the ice pack in a dish towel and put it back on her head. That would give her enough insulation to prevent her hands from freezing again. Just then, the phone stopped ringing. Answering machine. Beep. Patrick, this is your big sister. Please call me at my cell phone after you call Mom at my house. I need your help right away. I hope you can get this soon. It's 3:30. Love you. Bye. She hung up the phone and clipped it near her front jeans pocket. She went over to the sink and poured herself a glass of water. She grabbed a bottle from above the sink and poured 2 pain relievers into her hand. She downed them with a swig of water, then gulped the rest of the drink and pocketed the bottle. She brushed her feet off, slipped her shoes on at the doormat, and made her way out of the kitchen to the garage. She had just walked down the 2 steps from the landing when she stopped, turned around, and went back up the stairs and into the kitchen again. She went to the corner of the room and rummaged through Dave's stuff drawer. Logo pins, a watch band, some stray candy. Then she found it, his old compass. Still holding the ice pack to her head, She grabbed the compass and clipped it to her belt next to the phone. She was about to shut the drawer when she saw a flashlight. She snagged it, checked it to see if it still worked, shut the drawer, and put the flashlight into her back pocket. Then she went out the door leading into the garage, turned, and headed through the rear doorway out onto the back lawn. Hello, all, and welcome to Unit 5 of Ben's Tale, Book 1, Seeds of Destiny, Chapter 1, The Rise and Fall. We'll be putting 1 or 2 units up each and every week, every Thursday morning. This week art is by our Benjamin. First bit of color that we're allowing you to see. Please smash that like button, ring that bell, and subscribe. Subscribing is the most important. That way you will not miss out on Thursdays when these come out. If you want to support us, become a Patreon on our Patreon. The link is below in the description. If you have any thoughts you want to share, post them on the comment wall below in crayon. We want your thoughts and comments. Please keep things civil. Your thoughts and opinions help us know what you like and what we got to work on. We thank you very much. We wish you happiness. And 90% of our part of the money that you folks are able to give Patreon will go to help pay for my mother, alias Ben's grandma, Edie, receive care at home. I hope you like her adorable birthday pic. Any level you can manage on Patreon would be a big help. Again, thank you very much for visiting. Peace, hugs, and happiness. David Amrod, signing out.